I was thinking the other day. I've been to one of these tea parties that they've been having all across the nation about people bitching about government spending. And I want to state this: I'm not against tea parties, and I don't want to give that conception. I love tea parties. I love it when people protest against taxes, because you know what? I don't think people give a shit enough about what the government does with their money. So anytime people are going to protest, I'm fine with it. It's a good thing. Protest against taxes is great. It's something that we should always protest against to fucking make sure that the government is using our money for things it's actually supposed to use it for. But you know what? I was thinking the other day, I went to one of these fucking tea parties in Illinois back in September. The Tea Party Express came through. It was about an hour from my town. So me and my friend, went to this tea party. It was on a Saturday, and of course, we were kind of expecting kids to show up. The young libertarian, anarcho-capitalist base that supposedly doesn't like Obama spending, and the only people who are only young people standing up against Obama. And we were expecting to see a lot of young people there, but you know what? There were 10,000 people there, but they were all old people. And we were the only kids, only 20-year-old guys that we saw there at this tea party. So we thought that was kind of strange. We stayed there for an hour, and it was hot, and there was a lot of fucking singing for some reason. So we didn't really want to stay, but we stayed and listened to the couple speeches, and they were okay. And we left, and we went back home. But you know what? I was thinking about it a couple of weeks ago, and just thinking about it now. And it's funny because I was thinking about this. Why are old people, and these to make it clear, these tea parties are against the public option, against socialized medicine. Again, I don't have a problem with that, but I was thinking about this. Why are old people protesting against socialized medicine? Okay, don't isn't every fucking old person in America on something called Medicare? Last time I checked, and if you don't know what Medicare is, Medicare was one of those grand society reforms by Lyndon Baines Johnson in the 1960s. He was trying to top FDR, and how do you top FDR with socialized reforms? Well, you just make bigger, more wasteful socialized reforms. So it was one of those reforms that created a single-payer health care system in the United States, but only for people who are in their 60s. You pay into the fund similar to Social Security. They take money out of your payroll tax, but you don't actually get to use the fund until you're into your 60s, and it covers most of your healthcare costs. And there's 4 parts, and it covers hospitals, regular doctors. George Bush, the great conservative president, signed in a Medicare D, which covers prescription drugs, and is further bankrupting the fucking idiotic system. Just to let you know, that great Republican president. But it's one of those. It's a single payer system, and it dawned on me that it's like, why are these old people protesting socialized medicine when they're all drawing from socialized medicine? And I'm not anti-old person, because I don't deny that this program has no doubt kept old people alive. But you know what? A funny thing happened to me. My grandfather has actually been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and he's now in rehab trying to learn how to walk again. But he was in a really pretty bad straits in the hospital on a respirator. We didn't know if he was going to live or die, and thankfully he survived, and I'm happy that he survived. But his bill came a couple weeks ago to my house, and it was funny because I looked at the bill, and it was over $200,000. And I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. And he's 85, so he's on Medicare. But it's funny because I was thinking about that, and I was like, my grandfather was already in his mid-40s in the 1960s when Medicare was signed in. And he only worked for about another 20 years, before he retired, which means he only would have paid into Medicare for about 20 years. And so I went up and I asked my father, I said, Dad, did Grandpa pay anywhere near $200,000 into Medicare? My father's like, what, are you fucking kidding me? Of course he did. You never got anywhere close to $200,000. So, I was thinking about that. It's like, drawing more money than you paid in, I wonder if this is going to be a problem. And I know some people will come to this video and say, well, not every person is going to draw $200,000, and there are some people that probably won't draw any money. Very true. I don't deny that every person who pays into Medicare draws hundreds of thousands of dollars from it. I'm sure there are many people who don't draw that much money from Medicare. But you know what? I've never met a single old person that hasn't had a massive hip surgery, heart attack, major medical problem that hasn't charged a couple $100,000 to Medicare like my grandfather's pneumonia did. So going back to what I was saying, why are old people protesting against socialized medicine? And a better question is, why the fuck aren't young people complaining about Medicare if we're so fucking angry about the public option? All these libertarians, anarcho-capitalists, Republicans who suddenly don't like spending, massive spending, despite the fact that George Bush did, why the fuck haven't we been protesting against Medicare? And protesting against Social Security, and protesting against all these other fucking reforms that are already well on their way to bankruptcy that we have all been paying for with our low-wage, minimum-wage jobs. Why haven't we been protesting this shit? Why is it now when Barack Obama gets in, with the public option. Oh, all of a sudden everyone's pissed about government spending, you know? And I'd say, why the fuck are we listening to these old people when they say, well, let's not support socialized medicine? It's a joke, okay? I'm making this video to criticize Tea Parties, not because I think they're wrong and because I really do think they're a good thing, but you know what? When fucking 10,000 old people show up to protest government-run healthcare, and yet, you know, if one politician says I want to cut funding to Medicare, well, don't you touch my fucking Medicare? You know, it's a joke. It's a real joke that we shouldn't have old fucking 70-year-old fossils leading the debate against socialized medicine. Okay, it's ridiculous. We need young people to be angry about socialized medicine like the public option as well as Medicare, not these fucking old people who would never give up Medicare if you know you fucking granted them 1,000,000 gold bars to do it. Okay, so again, I'm not complaining entirely against Tea Parties. I'm just complaining about the people who are showing up at Tea Parties and asking the question, why are old people protesting against the public option when they're all on fucking Medicare?